I am so looking forward to coming back to the Midlands. I'm a Midlander, as is Julia, my wife, to the Diocese of Lichfield, which is the mother church of the Midlands, the Diocese of St Chad, who is just such a kind of inspiration to us all. A man of great humility, of profound Christian faith and immense apostolic zeal. So no pressure. So I grew up very much as a village Anglican in South Northamptonshire. Like many young people, went through a phase in my teenage years of deciding this was all complete nonsense, dangerous nonsense, and I knew a lot better. The initial reason to go back to College Chapel, I have to say, was that in those bad old days, the only way you could get a breakfast on Sunday morning was to go to College Chapel. So that was a very inappropriate incentive, but actually it took, in my case. And after about 18 months reading mathematics, I realised it was fascinating, but wasn't my future life, really. And that's when I began to think about vocation to priesthood. It was really the example and inspiration of a particular priest who was chaplain of the college I was at. He had a real care for the people who were committed to his charge, a real friendliness, and was able to make sense in what he said about the Christian faith of life, the universe and everything else, really, as far as I was concerned, and that's still the case. I went to what was then called ACCM, which is now Ministry Division, and was told to go off and get some life with a capital L. So I went off to work for a year in a factory in Birmingham, which made gaskets and things to go in cars, and I was a labourer there for a year. I managed to become involved in a rather serious industrial accident, which resulted in my finger being broken. I was very proud to be told that I had the worst finger fracture in the West Midlands that year. Spent some time in Dudley Road Hospital and a bit of time back in the factory, some time helping out in a primary school in Handsworth, and some time working as what was grandly called Deputy Warden of an alcoholics hostel. One of the things that is an amazing gift about ministry, as I've experienced it, is the huge range of people that you meet, people of every different background, different cultures, different educational background, different income levels. For each of them, you're just there as a priest, really. I love the ability to be alongside people from such different backgrounds. It's a particular privilege for me, I think, to be alongside people who are at the tough end of life, people who are living in poverty, people in other parts of the world on the margins of society because of their faith, and to see the difference that faith can make for those people, and to give them the strength to get up every morning and thank God for their blessings when in the world's eyes they haven't got any blessings, really. But it's very, very moving to see that. One of the things I really appreciate about the Church of England is that breadth and variety of different ways of being Anglican, yet holding together, sometimes through our disagreements. And I have learned a great deal from every kind of Anglicanism. I know where I stand within that story, but I've been enriched through the years, and I look forward to honouring the many kinds of churches and traditions that we have in the Diocese of Lichfield, because they've all got something to enrich our common life. That's certainly been true here in South London, where you have diversity on steroids, really. Through a whole chain of remarkable circumstances, Julia and I found ourselves living for 2 years in Japan, where I was working as a priest in the Japanese Anglican Church, and we had the time of our life, really, and have kept in touch with Japan, have lots of Japanese friends. I love Japanese lifestyle and ways of doing things. It's been a really important part of our life. What I had not made the connection with when we went out to Japan was that my dad had been a Japanese prisoner of war, captured at Singapore. It was extraordinary seeing somebody who'd been carrying the pain of really bad treatment from his Japanese captors, being overwhelmed by the kindness and generosity of our Japanese friends and hosts, and you could see the mental furniture being moved around as he understood what reconciliation was really about. It was an extremely powerful experience for me. So Japan is not just another country for me, it's actually part of my story. Julia and I really enjoy walking together. We do walk at slightly different paces, which means I'm usually several paces behind her, but that's how it is. We catch up with each other from time to time. We have already bought 6 Ordnance Survey maps. I'm sorry this one is called Nuneaton and Tamworth, but it has got a picture of Lichfield Cathedral on the front, which between them cover a reasonable proportion of the Diocese of Lichfield, and we look forward to exploring Staffordshire and Shropshire on foot. It's the connection between this extraordinary activity of worship and losing yourself in wonder, love and praise on a Sunday morning, and then living your life Monday to Saturday. Well, and the rest of Sunday.